Namaste. So I'm just going to do a quick video. This one's just on basically what is CRPS. So if you're in America, you've probably heard of this as RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. RSD has now recently been termed CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. It's known on the internet as the suicide disease, hence these beating the suicide disease tutorials. I want to show that so many people with this disease don't last past the 10 or 12 year point, sadly, very, very sadly. And I want to reach out to those people and help them and be a support to them. But not just those, I want to reach out to all of those people who are suffering in any way, shape or form, and show you that there is a different way to look at this. There is a different way to process suffering, and you can actually survive, and you can actually survive the suicide disease. And not only can you survive the suicide disease, but you can thrive with the suicide disease. Now, I'm going to teach you how to do that, hopefully throughout these courses of lessons. Hopefully something might be of use to you in your life, and hopefully some of my coping techniques and coping strategies will actually help you in your life in some way, shape or form, even if you don't have CRPS. Even if you've got something else going on. It could be anything, because I'm helping with emotional, physical, and emotional, physical, and energetic problems. You see, a lot of our problems are energetic. The energy blockages in our chakras, in our energy body, and this is why we're reading Living the Law of One by Carla L. Ruckert, which gives some really, really good advice on what to do to clear this energy body. It spirals up your 7 chakras, your 7 energy centers. Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of work, but this video in particular is on what is the suicide disease? What is this disease that is so terrible for so many people that it makes an extra large percentage of the sufferers compared to any other disease commit suicide? Well, it's mostly the pain and debilitation that this disease causes. It's an autoimmune disease, but it really is a whole bunch of autoimmune diseases, because the main one is CRPS. Yeah. Okay. Now, usually before you get CRPS, you've usually got 4 or 5 other autoimmune diseases, which I actually had. I won't go into them on this video because I'm wary of the time. But there was precursors to this. But then I broke my ankle really badly. I broke my right ankle, and it was a trimalleolar fracture and a really bad dislocation. Only 1 in 36,000 people on average who break their ankle like me will get CRPS disease. It's very, very rare, extremely rare, thank God. What it does is, in the early onset phase, it just gives you terrible pain, worse than the broken bone, worse than the original injured limb, and it always starts in the injured limb. But then after 8 to 12 months, it goes into the acute stage. The acute stage can last for several years. Mine lasted about 7 or 8 years. The acute stage is where I was getting a really swollen and bright, fiery red coloured, very swollen ankle, and then it was spreading up my leg. So it was affecting more than just the injured part of the limb. It was going further than that, and it was far, far worse pain than when I broke my ankle. That's the thing. The pain is far, far worse than the original injury, and it lasts far, far longer. So I was getting bouts of 4 to 6 months to begin with, and then it was going away. It was going into what's called remission for 4 to 6 months. Okay? And this was happening for years and years, and the doctors kept missing it. None of my doctors in James Cook or any of the other hospitals, none of the doctors around here knew anything about this. None of my local doctors in my town where I live knew anything about this. So it kept getting missed and missed. They just thought I was after painkillers, or they thought I just wanted to be on the sick. They didn't believe me how much pain I was in until it got into the chronic stage. It's now in the chronic stage, and well, now it's obvious. It's not just fiery red anymore. It's I'll show you compared to my other, and this isn't even a bad day. This is quite a good day. Yeah, it was much worse than this yesterday, and I may even post a video from yesterday and the day before, but you can see the swelling. It looks like my ankle's broken and dislocated right now. Okay, it affects the nerves in your toes and in your foot, and basically you lose the control of these toes. I can't bend these toes anymore like the other foot. They just twitch. It's really weird. But you lose control of the motor skills, and you begin to start losing feeling to your toes. But there's also a throbbing pain underlying, and you can see the veins. All the veins start bulging out compared to this leg. These are completely fine, right? These veins are normal, right? If you look at this one, the veins are all bulging out. Now what's happening is this what's called mottling. This colour change here. You see it's very white down here, but very dark up here, and it's all patchy and mottled. And then the toes are white. Your toes always go really white, but then your toenails turn purple. Okay, so what's happening is the blood vessels are constricting and then exploding, and the blood vessels are bursting, and this is internal bleeding that you're seeing. And there's also there's an immune system response and a nervous system response, so this is twofold. Your immune system starts attacking the tissues in your leg, in your foot, and it starts degrading your bones and your vascular system and your nervous system. Can you see the toes are actually going black now? If I left my foot down for much longer, my toes would turn completely black and my foot would turn completely black. If you look at the difference, there's a really, really big difference now. The longer I leave it down for, the worse it gets. Now, if I left it down for any longer, I would be in 10 out of 10 pain. Right now, I'm in about a 9 out of 10. So I need to do something. CRPS also spread to my knee, and many times now, over 3 dozen times, it's spread to this leg, and it's spread all the way up here. And this leg has looked like this leg. There's been quite a few days when both feet have been like this, and I've been stuck in bed for many weeks, and in fact many months. Now that's gotten really, really bad, so I need to shift that quick now. It's only been down for about 1.5 minutes. I'm going to show you what happens when I put it up. You'll see the blood eventually. Eventually the blood, this internally bled inside the limb will, now that I've got it on an angle like this, it will flow downwards with gravity, and you'll see a big change. Now what's happening is it's a twofold. So it's a nervous system failure. Your nervous system picks up that your whole leg has been smashed to pieces. So then your brain sends pain signals down to your leg, telling your body that your toes, your foot, and your ankle and your lower leg is smashed to pieces. So then it sends what's called an exaggerated pain signal down, which is far, far worse than a broken bone. It's as if you've had your whole foot, they equate it to your whole foot and lower leg being frostbitten. If you've ever looked at pictures of frostbite, it's really, really severe. You can see now it's beginning to go down. That's a nervous response. I can't really do much about that. It really hurts when it happens though. You can see the swelling in my joint. It's really swollen. It looks like a broken ankle. And you can see what it does to my skin. Bear in mind that I haven't walked on this foot for almost a year. And if you look, and even when I walked on it, it was with crutches, so I put barely any weight on it. So I've barely walked on this for 2.5 years. But if you look at the skin, it's all deteriorating. Some people call this lizard skin. I can kind of see why now. And it goes very, very white. Can you see there? And also there. where your body is deteriorating, it's breaking down your skin. And this is your classic modelling of a CRPS flare. So they call these attacks flares, and you get flare periods. And I'm almost 2.5 years into my latest and worst flare period. Okay, so this is quite graphic, so I'm going to have to put a warning on this video because it's not very nice to see, but I want to spread awareness. I want to spread awareness because awareness saves lives, and if more doctors knew about this, then they wouldn't treat us so badly, and they wouldn't accuse us of A, being insane, B, making it up for attention, or C, wanting painkillers. This is one of the three, if not all three, we get accused of. And I've been accused of this in every single hospital that I've ever been to. You can see the scar there from the original break. That's where they did the surgery. And there's quite a big scar there. There's a big plate under there with several screws, and there's a big screw or a pin coming all the way up here. And unfortunately there's no surgery they can do, there's no treatment they can give me. Not yet. I'm holding out for hopefully some treatment. If you look at the difference between the feet, it's quite dramatic. This is the scarring that it leaves after a flare. I don't know whether that's going to go away or not. I'm hoping it will, but I just don't know because it's never been this severe before. But you know, I stay positive and I keep making these videos, and hopefully this will spread awareness, because this disease, if more doctors knew about this in more hospitals, then there'd be less abuse and less people getting disbelieved and thrown to the back of the queue and called basically nut jobs. You know, you can see if you look at my legs, completely white, completely normal, right? Completely normal skin. Look at this leg. The redness actually goes all the way up to here. And yesterday it was going up to here, but it's gone down now. It's gone back down to about here. And you can see the redness. And if you look at this other leg, big difference. So there's no cure for CRPS, but they are working on several treatments as we speak in the UK and in the US. In the US, they give ketamine infusion therapy, which seems to be reducing people's pain, but you need to be on it for life. And that's not an option when it's thousands of dollars per treatment. Here in the UK, there's nothing so far. There's no treatment that is viable, that is accessible. They are working on several treatments, and I will post videos about the treatments that they are working on later episodes of this series. This series is called Surviving the Suicide Disease, but really it's about thriving in any life situation. It's about taking life by the reins and riding life and using these catalysts, these negative catalysts, to springboard you into new levels of spiritual awareness, into new levels of spiritual conscious awareness, and using these catalysts for what they're for what they were given to you for by your higher self, to springboard you into a new octave of consciousness, a new era, a new vibration of experience. And this is what these videos are about, how to use these catalysts to catapult you, to springboard you into a whole new sub-octave of conscious awareness here in the new 4th density, 5th density earth plane. I hope these videos are going to be of some use, and I just want to send all my love and all my light to all of you, and Namaste.